So yeah, if someone is beginner, I would say them that start from the beginning level, even if it's hard, to speak correct English, then speak broken English sometimes. Like that's all right. Everyone makes mistakes, so it's all right. You can speak whatever comes in your mind. Stop translating everything that you wanna speak to someone, right? So I would suggest to beginners, like if they are at a beginner level, they need to gain some confidence, and even if they are making mistake, that's all right. Start speaking whatever comes in their mind. And second thing is learn those vocabulary that is very important, that is active, that you can use in your conversations. So I would suggest these things, and apart from that, practice on a daily basis. There is no alternative, there is no substitute to that. Like if you are not practicing, you are not going to learn at all this language. So it's very important that you practice with someone. If you don't find anyone, like there are a lot of websites, there are YouTube channels when you can seek for help. They will definitely going to help you out, right? So I would suggest people who are beginners, follow these methods if you want to become fluent in English language.
Got it, got it. Also, you have mentioned about the vocabulary, right? So the kind of vocabulary. So in the beginning, I believe like instead of focusing on the vocabulary and grammar, we should speak out more and more so that we will be more habitual to that, right? So after speaking out, if you are felt very confident, then we will move to the vocabulary, grammar, and pronunciation, right?
Yeah,
I
exactly.
I don't have everyone has different perspective.
Yeah, like they can learn basic grammars, like basic pronunciation skill, because that's also important, right? Like
Right.
don't jump into
But
direct speaking part. Like you can learn basic grammars. That's also important.
it's okay, but if so, I also myself, I spend a lot of years on that, like working on the grammar, pronunciation, and vocabulary, but I'm not able to speak out that much. So I felt like I'm missing something that I'm not able to apply on a day-to-day basis. Okay, because of that, I read so many vocabulary. I was not able to recall while during the conversation, and I was like doing dude what I'm doing. I was not able to give that fluent speech, okay, to other members after doing so many things. Okay, if you're not practicing, so at the end of the day, if you're not practicing with the other person, then we were not able to, like, it's no use of it, right? After learning so many things, if you're not speaking out, then what is the use? It's the output that we are going to see, right, at the end of the day.
Exactly,
That's
exactly. Yeah, and I talked about the word. Like usually, I also used to do that, right? Like initially, like I thought maybe if I learn grammar, if I have so much vocabulary, like complicated, fancy vocabulary, then I would sound really great, advanced, and it did that thing for a long time. I learned complicated grammars rule. I learned complicated vocabulary, but
okay.
when it came, it came to speaking part. Like I was really, scared of people. I could not even utter a word. So that what happened with me. Then later I realized, like unless and until you practice, you are not going to be fluent at all. And the words that people use, normal words, you have to learn all those words, not like go for fancy words that you don't even going to use it. Because normally people, when they are talking, they are using common words that easy to learn. But thinking that maybe if we learn complicated word, we will sound advanced and fancy, we just make mistake doing that.
True, true, I agree with you. So I'm saying from last how many months you are learning this language?
I would say like I started learning process since I was in school, but like seriously, I started when I completed my graduation, right? Because in school I did not pay that much attention, because we all know that, right? Like when we are in school, we don't know the importance of anything at all. Like uh, any subject, talk about any subject, science, mathematics, we don't know about their importance. We only just care about scoring as much as possible, right? Like as much as good marks we can score, that we care about. But when it comes to getting a job, or basically talking to someone, then we realize like importance of the language. So after I graduated, I went for interview, and once I was rejected, then I
Okay.
realized like I have to work on my communication skills. Otherwise, there is no way I'm going to get a job in any private or government sector or any good company. So then I started working on my communication skills, and like just practiced a lot, and talk to people and learn grammar rules. So some common grammar rules, common vocabulary that can help me to basically speak fluently, and then just talk to people. And this is how I have started my journey, and it has worked worked out till now. Like it has helped me to become fluent in English.
Cool, got it, got it. And what kind of mindset that you have in the beginning, like?
Okay, initially, like when I saw someone speaking in English language, I was really afraid. I used to avoid talking to them, right? I just like could not wanted to talk to them because I was really afraid. I used to think like have magical power that they learned this language, right? That was my mindset actually in the beginning, right? I was really most of my friends also were afraid. Like they used to say like, how can someone learn an English language? It's a really difficult one. And yeah, I can also say that like when you are a beginner, like it seems like it's a very difficult language because you don't know nothing at that time because you don't understand what people are saying. You don't understand any book. You don't understand any speech, any podcast that is in English. So yeah, it's obvious. Like when you are a beginner level, then you will gonna say like yeah, it's very difficult. You are not going to learn at all. So that was also my mindset that I'm not going to learn English language. Anywhere near, right? So that was my mindset. I was really afraid, but later on, like when I started working for interviews and somehow I improved when I talked to people, when I interacted with my friends who could speak in English, then I realized like maybe I can speak English if I keep working with this space, then I can one day be a really fluent speaker. So initially I was afraid, but gradually when I started learning and talking to people, I built some confidence. I approached people and talked to them. I attended, like seminars. I also went for interviews, and then I gathered some confidence. And now, gradually I have reached at a spot where when I can talk to anyone across the world. Yeah,
True, true. So in the initial, we will feel very fumble and we will very stuck actually what others think, right? If you ignore what others think, then we will connect with anyone in the world and we would have to have a conversation with them. There is no issue in that. So on that way only we will going to improve ourselves on a day-to-day basis. So nothing comes like if you don't do any kind of practices, it's very difficult to achieve anything, right?
yeah, exactly. I agree with you. Like, practice is really important. Like, gradually you're gonna improve. In the beginning, as I mentioned earlier, like a lot of problem you're gonna face initially. You're gonna think like this is never gonna happen. Like, I'm never going to be fluent. And initially, you will also face a lot of problem. You will think of giving up sometimes, right? Like I should give up. It's not gonna happen. But like if you give up, then like it's never gonna happen. That's for sure. But if
True,
you
true.
stand up again and dust yourself up, I start working on that particular skill again, then one day definitely your dream will come true. You will achieve what you are aiming for. So yeah, you will have, you need to have patience. You need to have a mindset of not giving up at all. Like what doesn't matter what happens, right?
True, true. So you must be have patience. You must be have consistent efforts that you need to put on yourself so that let's say 1 hour, 2 hours based on your timing that you permits. So if you are spending 15 minutes, 20, 30 minutes, whatever time you have, if you spend that much time also, it will sufficient for you, right? If you are not spending that much time also, it will very difficult for the future.
Exactly. Yeah. This is a time like where you can practice. Otherwise, like once you have started working, maybe you will not get a time for learning again. So yeah, like
True.
now when you're learning, like you can, like basically get 15 minutes, 20 minutes for practice and all.
Yeah, yeah. So what kind of things we can apply on a day-to-day basis to become like fluent?
Uh,
Simple tips, simple something like kind of environment, let's say, to make such a way. So you are from Hindi medium or English medium?
I'm from Hindi medium.
Okay, so what kind of tips and tricks that you have applied? Like, let's say I have 1 hour to spend on this language. Okay, just 1 hour, I would say, just 1 hour on everyday basis. Yeah.
I would say like I have been doing that thing for a long time. Like I started working on those four skills that we all know about, right? Like
Okay.
reading, writing, speaking, and listening. So yeah, if you have 4 hours, I would suggest you like you have to work these four skills on a daily basis, right? Like divide your 1 hour into four parts where you are just writing for 20 minutes maybe, and 20 minutes you would be kind of listening something, podcast, maybe speech, and 20 minutes you would be speaking to someone. and 20 minutes you are like just listening to some speech and something like that, right? And sometimes 20 minutes you are reading, right? So it's very important that you work on these four skills if you want to become very good or fluent in English, because it's a very important skills that we need to work on if we want to become fluent, right? So
Got it,
yeah,
got it.
I have been
Okay, you are applying this for things that you are, it's a common for, like, if you watch any kind of video, it's common for thing reading, writing, and listening and speaking out.
yeah,
And
exactly.
so you are as a teacher, right? It's how do you manage the people? Let's say I am very bad in English, okay? Someone is good in English, so both are sitting in the same class and you are teaching. Okay, the one person is able to grab very quickly and the other person was very weak and he was not able to grab that quickly. So how do you manage that?
Yeah, like yeah, teachers has teachers have responsibility that we deliver inclusive education, right? Where we are paying attention to everyone. Yeah, there will be discrep discrepancies, like there will be problems, like as you mentioned about, like there will be some good students, there will be some students who are not learning with that pace. So yeah, there will be problem, but you can easily manage all those things. We what we do is usually like who are learning with a good speed, we give them extra work, and while they are doing their extra work, we focus on those people, those students who are not learning uh, as they should learn, right? So usually what we do, like we give those students who are really basically smart, we give them extra work, we assign them new work so that they can work on and grow. And when they are working on those like work, we usually focus on those students who are not good at learning and all those things. So how this is how we manage usually.
Okay, got it, got it, got it. And let's say, so so what kind of qualities that teachers should have? Like if you're teaching, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, teachers should have really like these kind of qualities. Like first of all, like you have to be inclusive, right? Like it's not like that if some student is really weak, then you have to leave him out. It's not like that. If you're a teacher, you have to think about every student in the class. It doesn't matter whether he is really weak in studies or really smart. Like even if he's smart, then also like you have to teach him as well. You have to give them give him extra thing to learn, right? Because he also needs some kind of learning, right, when he is attending your classes. So you have to manage everything. You have to first quality you should have that you are an inclusive teacher. Yeah, you are giving all those, you are focusing on everyone, you are teaching everyone whether he is weak or he is smart. First quality is that, and second quality is like you have to be friend to them, right? Like it's not like you are dictating everything, right? You are just saying them you have to do that, do this, because every student have their own quality. Maybe he is good at sports, not good at studies, so you have to promote him or encourage him for playing sports and do better in that particular field. And if someone is good at studies, encourage him to like go for studies, prepare for IS officer, go for UPSC, go for different kind of thing that you like about, right? So you can promote every student according to their quality, according to their like forte, right? So this is how students basically teachers should have some qualities, right? Like inclusive, and then you have to encourage student or be friendly to them, never demotivate them. Like it's very important, right? Praise
Right.
them sometimes, like, when they are doing great, like just praise them, give them some prizes, like conduct some organize some kind of competition, praise them so that they can move forward. So I would say like these are the important qualities a teacher should have.
Got it, got it, got it, got it. Let's say from one starting is right. So do how many months do them to spend on this language to become more fluent? Do you have
uh,
any specific duration for that?
No, I wouldn't say anyone like learning language has any specific duration, but I would say like 6 months is sufficient. Like if they are working really hard, like, and if they have dedicated their time, like they are giving their 100%, then definitely I can say that in 6 months they will be really fluent. Like they will
Okay.
still they will have to work, because like there is always some room for learning, right? Like there is no ending. Even today I'm also learning, right? It's not like I'm just become a scholar or something. Like I'm
Mm.
still learning. I'm talking to you, I'm getting to know a lot of new things. If I'm talking to someone else, I'm getting to learn new things. So yeah, there will be always room for learning, but to reach at a basic level where you can interact with people, or even good level, if you spend 6 months, you dedicate your time, you can easily learn this language easily.
Got it, got it, got it. And I think I would say also we need to keep on learning on a day-to-day basis. It's a little time also, but we should have upgrade ourselves on a day-to-day basis. And so as a you are teacher, and how many days you work in a day? In a week, sorry.
Okay, in a week I usually work 6 days, like Monday to Saturday,
Okay.
and Sunday is off. So usually 6 day a week and 6 hour in a day. So yeah, that's how
6 hours.
it
Okay.
works.
Cool. And what kind of degree that like teachers should have to like to apply this kind of jobs?
Usually, like they should have training, like that's very important, because like you cannot become a good teacher unless and until you are trained, right? Because it's a very important thing how you are handling your students. It's very important, because like if you are not trained, you don't know how to behave with them, because they are in a phase where wherever you will lead, they are going to follow you, right? If you will lead to them to wrong path, they're gonna follow you. If you lead to them to a good path, they're gonna follow you. So it's a very crucial uh, juncture for them, like to decide like what they want to become. So it's very important that you are trained so that you can show them a right path and do something great in their future. Otherwise they will just start following some wrong path and end up doing
Got
something that you don't consider.
got it, got it. So what kind of fluency you will require to become a like spoken English trainer, like in your school or college?
Yeah, just you need to be a good at communication. Like if you want to become a spoken trainer, then you just need a normal like fluency. Like it doesn't matter, like people confuse most of the time. People confuse, like if you are fluent, that means like you are speaking non-stop, right? Like there is no break, like you are just speaking and speaking, you are not making mistake. Like that's not fluency means. Fluency means like you are clearly,
Hmm?
right, delivering your thoughts, your ideas to someone. That's fluency means. A lot of people mistake fluency with the speed, right? Like if you are fluent, then you are speaking non-stop very fast, then you are fluent. But that's not true. Like if you are fluent, then that means like you can clearly deliver your ideas, your feeling to someone. When you are talking to someone, you can easily naturally like share your idea with them. So that's fluency means. It does not have to do anything with the speed. Like, yeah, I have talked
I
to
agree
many
with you. I agree with you. The if you are speaking very speed, then it's very difficult for the other person to understand also, right? The pitching also very important, and the grammar and the vocabulary, the kind of pronunciation, the where we need to stop, where we need to continue. That's also matters a lot to become
people.
more fluent in this language, right?
Exactly, exactly. And it's not about fluency for trainers. I would say like they have that kind of quality where they can encourage learners to speak out. Because like if you are a trainer, that means you are teaching someone. You are
Mm.
encouraging them. Like you have to uh, build a confidence where you can just speak in front of people and deliver your speech. Or whenever you are talking to someone, you can confidently talk to them. That's what you are training for them,
Mm.
training them for, right? So
Right.
that's very important that it doesn't matter like what level you are or what you are doing, but very important thing is like you build a confidence in them that they can easily talk to anyone or confidently to anyone. So that's what matters actually.
True, true. I agree with you. Yeah, and